shirt on, and he doesn't have his shoes on either, and he's playing the piano with both his hands and his left foot at the same time. I don't quite understand what is going on. And then it looks like it went into Studio Killers, and then Kazet Vivo, I don't even know who the fuck you are, and then it was just Caravan Palace from there on. Based Star Fox, dude.
Furry IFF fur.
Where the fuck? Yeah, the fight at Phone Home and Biker. As much as I want a thumbs up for the most part Hotline videos because I love the series, like, this autism needs to die. This shit should have died with the Hotline Miami General, but for some reason it's still around. Yeah, when was this done? May 22nd. That's, what, yesterday.
Included among Jacket's extermination of the Russian Mafia is a confrontation with a man in a biker helmet. Jacket meets this man at the headquarters of a phone company, and after a visceral battle, he kills the man by taking his head clean off his shoulders. Later in the game, we get the unique experience of seeing the fight from the perspective of the biker. We know how this fight ends. Jacket will grab a golf club, Biker will knock him down and stomp his head into his boot. Wait, what? Hold on. This fight is different to the one we saw earlier. What's really going on here? Well, let's take a look at the information in the game and try to determine the truth of what really happens during this fight.
This guy even has the super interesting YouTuber man voice. Fucking perfect.
I love how the assumption there has to be, there's something more to this, because these both can't be wrong, instead of this being a what-if scenario. Especially since the sequence of Hotline Miami 2 can only happen assuming Richard wins. Which means that, canonically, Richard wins. Or at the very least, that, you know, Jacket does not die. And those are kind of mutually exclusive paths. Either Biker kills him, or Biker gets killed by him.
The easiest explanation is the idea that there are multiple timelines.
Not really multiple timelines. It kind of is, but it's more of, I still believe, a what-if scenario. Like, especially the way you talk with the dudes at the end when you don't get this real ending. Where they clearly reference, like, this is just a game and it was like the developers talking to you, kind of implies that the whole part of you playing as Biker was just to give you answers, like the player answers as to what was really going on with the story. And that's basically it, and I feel people read way too much into this garbage.
Jacket wins the fight, and one in which Biker wins the fight. And they go on to complete their respective timelines independent of each other. If Jacket kills Biker, he goes on to do several more phone missions, is eventually attacked by Richter,
rest in peace,
storms a police station to interrogate his attacker, and eventually gets his revenge by killing the leaders of the Russian Mafia, going on to influence most of the events of 1991 in Hotline Miami 2. If Biker kills Jacket, he goes on to find the janitors in their hideout, figures out their plan, or doesn't, and rides out of Miami.
He also doesn't mention he kills them, or doesn't.
However,
whatever.
Since Jacket...
Because you have a choice of doing that. However, because the janitors are alive in Hotline 2, it has to be assumed that they didn't die, which means either Biker chose to not kill them, or Biker never actually met them.
Jacket died.
Which is giving, you know, hey, maybe the whole video game thing
can't happen.
that you saw happen.
Since they do happen, it's impossible for Biker to have killed Jacket. That's why Biker's events after the fight are regarded as an entirely separate timeline. So Biker can't have killed Jacket, because then the events of Hotline Miami 2 can't happen.
Mac 501
so that must mean that Jacket does kill Biker in the fight at Phone Home.
I'm gonna get more autistic, so bye.
Well then, who is the man that Evan interviews in a bar in Hotline Miami 2?
Since he's outside.
As if Evan not only interviewing somebody in an optional Easter egg sequence is fucking canon to the story. This is where this falls fucking apart, really.
A ghost?
Jacket was just a schizo and love tap Biker on the cheek since he's outside the courthouse, and two, there's really no reason to believe that he lived through that, because Biker's appearances in the second one are only... I could go into serious detail explaining why the Bar of Broken Heroes actually shows that Biker here is fucking dead. Especially since there's other dead characters in the same room as him. There's no reason to believe that he has to be alive if he's talking to him. And because this is a completely optional sequence that probably most players didn't see at least their first playthrough, it's reasonable to expect that they wanted this to be a sort of hidden Easter egg, not really to be like a very important story thing, especially since Evan literally gets nothing out of this and says, like, more or less, you wasted my time, and then just walks out and nothing else changes. And this, and the sequence of him being outside the trial are more or less Easter eggs, And they're trying to use Easter eggs to say that the entire story of Hotline 1 is just, you can't trust any of it, and they're just trying to undo basically anything that happens in that, so that they can support their theory that their favorite fan character... Hang on, there's one comment down here that is, like, just perfectly explains the feeling that I think they had.
On your phone.
Sure, my number is 1-408-537-3663. If you're going to try defending this story, I'm going to go autistic on you, by the way. I will kill you over the phone. Where the fuck was it? Only was in it. This one. So Biker probably was on the losing side of the fight, as he has a scar under his eye. While this could be from something else, it's probably from Jacket. Biker is the only person who survived the events of Hotline Miami 2. Funny how the ending of Hotline 2 literally is meant to showcase every single person dying so that they never have to make another Hotline because they didn't want to make Hotline 2. But somehow their favorite fan character just happens to fucking live. What a coinky-dink. Hang on.
Snow.
There.
1-408-537-3663.
I can't save you, for nothing can save you from my autism.
IFF Snowfats save me.
Sure, this is easily explained away by the surrealistic nature of the bar. After all, there are other...
I hate how he doesn't even fucking explain what the bar of Broken Heroes is. Like, it's just baffling to me how they don't understand
in the bar that have died years before this meeting. But the same blue-haired stranger is seen outside the courthouse housing Jacket's trial.
Dude, there's an Easter egg in Hotline 2. Nothing that happened in Hotline 1 is
if he's
important.
supposed to be dead. Well, there's actually an exchange between Beard and Jacket that hints at the true outcome of the fight. In the outro to Chapter 8, Jacket goes to visit Beard at his convenience store. And when he walks in, he sees the headless corpse of Biker. Beard tells Jacket that what he just saw, meaning Biker's headless body, isn't real, and to demonstrate, he statics away Biker's corpse. This is hinting that Biker didn't die in their conflict.
Or it's hinting that at this point in the story, Jacket is actually just kind of remembering things fuzzy from him being in a coma, having been shot in the head by the man right there, Richter. Yeah. Maybe it's implying that, and that you're not actually seeing dead bodies. Also, trying to say that the dead just kind of imagining this dead body here is a reason that Biker might not actually have died is kind of silly, because Biker's not the only dead person that Jacket envisions. He also envisions... Whoa, dude, I'm getting a phone call. Hang on. Wow. Hello? Do you have autism?
Whoa, dude. It's just a theory.
Hello?
It's a game theory.
I can't hear... Hello? Oh, God. Hello? We got a caller on speaker here, but he's not talking. What the heck? Are you dying? I think he's dying, dude. Rest in peace. But also, yeah, Biker's not the only dead person that Jacket sees. He sees a bunch of dogs that are beat the fuck up. He sees... It's also oddly specific that he sees Biker dead exactly the way he killed them, whereas everyone else is kind of just killed in various ways that you kill regular enemies, because they're probably just meant to be regular enemies. He sees various monsters around. He sees dog that he's killed there. He sees a fat black dude going through his refrigerator.
That's nice.
Hello? I'm just gonna hang up because even when he does talk, I can't hear, I can't understand anything he's saying. So he got fucking owned right there. But yeah, he envisions other people, and everyone else that he sees are people that he's killed, which is weird that he also hallucinates Biker's dead body, but somehow he didn't kill Biker. That doesn't fit with anything else that's happened.
Like a chick, TBH.
Dude, that's a bad feel, man. Cute
After
chicks hit me
Biker's
up.
body is staticked away, there's a man ominously standing in the nearby bathroom. Later in the story, this man, known as Richter, attacks Jacket and puts him in a coma. When Jacket wakes from his coma, he confronts Richter in his jail cell, where he reveals he's also been receiving phone calls, implying he was sent by the same people that have been calling Jacket. This is significant because in Biker's
Imagine punching someone in the face so hard that their fucking tooth ends up under their chin.
storyline, the day after the fight, he confronts the janitors in their lair and discovers they're the ones leaving the phone messages. The janitors realize that Jacket failed in killing Biker, leaving a witness to their operation, and since Jacket failed his mission, they send Richter to kill him.
I have a big problem with that one because that implies... That implies that they send Richter to kill him because he left Biker as a witness, meaning that there can be no witnesses to this. I'm pretty sure some of the papers say things along the lines of them seeing people in animal masks, like, actually doing this. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come up with all, like, that animal attack shit like that going on. So there definitely have been other witnesses to these types of things happening that it doesn't appear that they've gone out of their way to kill everyone involved with. Especially since, right there, his dead girlfriend is another person that Jacket went into a building and left alive. So Biker's not even the first quote-unquote witness that he's left. Which is... Why didn't they send Richter to kill him the day after he left her alive? Why does it have to be after... Why does it have to be after, fucking Biker? And fucking... Also, why would they not... After that, why would they not send another person to go kill Biker the very next day? After that, apparently he lives after that. Why don't they send another person after him the next day? Hotline 2, he doesn't make any reference of being, like, hunted down or anything. So I guess they just sent one person to kind of try killing him.
People in chat are already starting shit.
Oh, baby. Is it time to tune back into NASA? That thing that's not been, like, no one's really cared about it because, damn, the quality's been really low this time around. Many of the runs, I have to say, have been very entertaining. For the most part, it has a much better atmosphere than GDQ. It's had terrible technical problems, which is like, for fuck's sake. Oh, man.
That I only figured out how to do in practice earlier today.
Elephant, foreign water. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, a sticker of a tag.
There we go. But fucking... I don't remember what I was going autistic about. Something about witness. Yeah, she was left as a witness alive as well, but for some reason they didn't send Richter.
Understand. How did Biker confront the people making the phone calls if Jacket kills him?
That's a good cue, dude. Like, apparently he didn't actually die. He just got, like, a massive hit to the face. And he didn't die. And then he went on and both storylines happened, even though that contradicts two stories that you see happening in the game. But that's okay, because they're unreliable narrators. Even though they show everything you see in the entire game in their eyes, and that means you can't trust anything in Hotline 1 at all. It's okay, because that means that their favorite character gets to live in the sequel.
If Jacket had killed Biker...
Yeah, if only Jacket had killed Biker, dude. Wouldn't it have been great if Jacket had some way of killing Biker? Maybe blowing his fucking head apart with a golf club, but no, it's a shame. That didn't happen.
Richter would never have been sent to attack him.
That's really unlikely, considering he just said that you're not allowed to leave witnesses, and he left another witness, whom was also killed, unlike Biker, whom he apparently only wounded, and then they didn't send anyone else to kill him. I don't understand. Why?
And the subsequent events that followed,
and you shoot a man in the head,
including the 1991 events in Hotline Miami 2, would never have taken place. So in order for all the things to take place that do, both characters need to survive the fight and phone home.
What if Also, it really bothers me that he pronounces HOM as home. I don't know if that's actually... I mean, as home. I don't know if that's actually correct, but I've always called it the Phone Hom Company, because, I mean, HOM sounds like hom. Hang on one second.
Snow Fats. Hom.
Hom. Yeah, even my robot thinks it's pronounced hom. Also, yeah, apparently this right here that you see happen in the game can't be trusted. Cannot be trusted. No. You can't trust anything that the characters see. Even though you never see any characters hallucinating during actual levels and like gameplay in Hotline 1. Only afterwards. But no, this can't be trusted. This is the only thing in Hotline 1 that cannot be trusted. Everything else, I guess, is fine.
But how can both characters remember killing their adversary? Well, the thing about Biker and Jacket is that they're unreliable narrators.
I love this meme.
Meaning you can't trust everything they see. When Jacket's fighting Biker, he's still in a coma, and his unreliable memory of the event is warped by his dreams. As for Biker...
Also, this is the only event in his dreams that really gets warped in this manner. Everything else is either remembering something that he's done, or yeah, no, pretty much that's it. Actually, everything else is more or less remembering something he's done. Like all the other dead people and everything that you're going through the levels with are just things that Jacket did and is remembering. There are definitely surrealistic elements to everything because he is hallucinating it all. Because, I mean, he's in a coma. But that doesn't mean that these things didn't happen. Also, that bush is clipping slightly through the wall here.
He sets out to the phone home building immediately after a drug-fueled party at his apartment. And likely still feeling the effects of his hangover,
What a
he likely
fucking meme.
misremembered the events.
He misremembered his head getting blown apart with a golf club because he drank the day before, dude. Totally. That's one hell of a hangover.
So it's likely that both characters are wrong about the fight, and they both walked out of there beat up.
It's likely both characters survived this fight, despite the fact that that has never really happened ever in Hotline before. The only other instance I can think of this happening is with Tony. Tony versus the Sun. Tony doesn't actually die in that encounter, whereas the Sun kills the rest of the fans. Even though it's very clearly implied that Tony was not killed by the Sun during gameplay. This one's not, though. This one's different. This one's special, because if this one didn't take place, then our favorite character wouldn't have lived through the sequel.
But alive. The fight is a good example of there always being two sides to every story.
Stingo,
But somewhere
it's
in
likely
between
they both survived
lies
after
the
having
truth.
their head exploded.
Yeah,
over
I was
seriously.
able to clear up some of the confusion you may have had about the fight, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask and I'll do my best to answer them. In addition, if you have any explanations of your own, feel free to share them, as I would love to hear your thoughts.
Oh my gosh. Just link the VOD of this video and just be like, I hate you. I hate
But
you.
until next time, thank you for watching and see you later. In the late 1980s,
The worst part about it is his quality and everything's actually really good. It's just, I don't like the conclusion that they come up with here is just horseshit to me. Also, let's watch the biker video.
the people that attacked the Russian mafia in 1989 were most recognized by the rubber masks they wore while murdering. However, there was an operative that didn't wear a mask, but instead wore a biker helmet to conceal his identity. And the story of this eponymous biker is filled with a mixture of confusion and fear. Let's take a look at what he does in-game and try to determine his story. A thrill chaser, Biker heard about an exciting thrill ride from a local bartender. He signed up for a newsletter from an organization named 50 Blessings and suddenly began receiving messages on his phone that asked him to do seemingly innocent
Stingo,
things,
greater than
but were
including him
actually
for playing
veiled
on
assassination
PS4.
contracts.
That's also a good reason,
Initially,
yeah.
Biker
Imagine
was
trusting
glad to
someone who
comply with
plays
the request of the message,
Hotline on fucking
filling his
console.
blood with an excitement he's never felt before. However, on May 13th, he abruptly decides he wants out of the contract killings. Interestingly, this is the same day that another agent gets a call to assassinate some political figures. The call mentions that someone else called in sick, implying Biker rejected this job due to its political nature.
That is one thing I actually didn't catch myself the first time. The fact that, like, someone called in sick on the same day that Biker, like, doesn't do that. Well, like, he's, like, saying, like, I'm not having fun anymore, shit like that. Which is pretty cool. But to imply that he's not wanting to do this because of the political connotations behind it is kind of unreasonable, because Biker, until the very end of the game when he hacks their computer and learns this shit, doesn't seem to mention anything about this being a political kind of thing. And he just mentioned that he wasn't in this for politics to make America great again. He was just in this for, like, the thrill and the action of it, and now he wants out because either it's too dangerous or because he's bored or what the fuck ever. So to say that he doesn't want to do that because of the political reasons behind it is kind of weird, especially since playing through it as Jacket, you don't even learn that those guys were politicians until after you've already done that. So it's like, how the hell would you just look at fat black people eating salads or shitting in toilets and think, oh, this is a politician? Especially since Biker apparently didn't even go there, so he wouldn't have even known that much. Like, it's unreasonable to assume Biker knew that this was a political thing and didn't want to get involved with that.
However, Biker claims he's bored with the calls when he visits the bartender that introduced him to the organization. Biker demands information and shoves the man to the floor. The man gives in, saying he knows of someone hiding out in a Chinese restaurant downtown that has more information. He gives Biker the address and says that now he's as good as dead. Biker makes his way to the Chinese restaurant, and in a small dark room in the back, he finds the man the bartender was talking about. Biker grabs the man by the shirt and demands to know who's leaving the phone messages. The man quickly gives up information, saying he helped them set up a system at Phone Home to sweep their calls. He doesn't know who the leader is, but they seem to have a political
Like,
agenda
most of the
that
video is
terrifies
good. It's just like there's parts of
Satisfied
it where
with
he
the
starts
information
implying
he's been
shit
given,
that just, I don't know
Biker
where he's
releases
getting
the
that
man
info
and
from.
leaves the restaurant. A few days later, Biker finds a message on his phone. Upset that the biker has been blowing off his assignments, the message says they will not tolerate further delays. In order to buy more time for his investigation, Biker complies with the message, killing Russian gangsters at a local arcade.
It also bothers me that
Several
he didn't
days
check the
later,
top right
in the
window there, because
aftermath
he
of
could
the
easily
party
have
held
died.
at his apartment, Biker wakes to find another message on his answering machine, again asking for his services. Fed up with the messages, Biker finally resolves to get to the bottom of them and makes his way to the phone home headquarters. He gets into their computer and finds the address where the calls are originating. At that moment, a man with a Letterman jacket wearing a rooster mask enters the room. Biker tells the man to leave, but when the man rushes for a golf club in the corner, a visceral fight between the two breaks out. Eventually, Biker walks out of the building alive.
Let's not
makes his
mention what
way
happens
back
during
to
the
the
fight.
bar.
Let's just ignore that.
very next
Let's ignore both perspectives of the fight. Let's just
Day,
carry on.
Biker finds
Okay.
another message on his answering machine, which doubles
That
as
fight
a
just didn't actually end. It
threat
just,
from the
it
callers.
just happened in some way.
However, Biker is unconcerned and makes his way to the address he found in the phone home computers. As he enters the building, he sees a janitor who immediately flees. He rushes after the man to find him flee into a nearby sewer. But before heading down, Biker notices a computer set up in the
Also,
workshop.
apparently, yeah, the secret ending's
It's
canonical.
password protected, but using his biker intuition, he deduces the password
With a little bit of
and
magic
finds the
powers.
janitor's plan. They are using the
All
50
that
Blessings
autism playing puzzle
organization,
games lets him get the
same
puzzle
one
pieces
that
and
Biker
figure it
signed
out.
up for, to attack the Russian mafia and assassinate members of the Russo-American coalition in the hopes to topple the coalition. When Biker confronts them with this information, the janitors say they'll eventually get the country back on its own feet thanks to the help of powerful friends. Biker cuts them off, saying the janitors have wasted enough of his time. He exits the sewers,
Let's not mention the possibility
gets on
he
his
can kill
bike,
them.
and sets off. He realizes he can't return home, or he'll face the wrath of 50 Blessings. So
Unless he killed them, but I mean, let's not talk about that.
instead, he flees Miami to figure out his next step.
Also, this part doesn't.
However,
it's-
out in the wilds of America, he has an encounter that completely changes him.
you will
A few
never
years
go
later,
into the
in
desert and meet a
1991,
random
the
chicken
Russian
man
mafia has been effectively
of
destroyed
your like
by
fucking
the mass attackers
peyote-ass
sent by
Native
the
American
janitors.
drug trips.
Called the mass maniacs in the papers, the most infamous has been arrested by the police and is on trial for his crimes. The origin of the phone calls are a contentious point in the case, as the masked maniac claims he believes the Russian mafia were making the calls, and phone records indicate the calls originated from a club with ties to the Russian mafia. But why would the mafia attack their own members? Questions like this drive a local writer, Evan Wright, to try and find the truth behind the mass maniac killings. Evan gets a tip from a source in the police department, and as he sets out, he notices a
The fucking door right there is really good, dude.
And as he sets
Wow.
out, he notices
Just fucking
a
sucks
peculiar
it back
man standing
inwards.
among the crowd gathered outside the courthouse.
That man is over here, and these are the fans.
A man with blue hair wearing a neon pink jacket. Biker has returned to Miami.
He didn't die.
A few days later,
The fight.
Evan
we never
finds a
figured out what
message
actually
on his
happened.
answering machine from someone saying they have information about the killings that he would like to hear. The caller tells Evan to meet him at a local bar.
Ninja Turtles.
Evan shows up to see Biker sitting at the bar. However, this isn't the same man that fled Miami in 1989. He has disheveled hair and an unkempt beard, and his bloodshot eyes hint he's been sitting here all day drinking. There's a large scar on his face, which he possibly got from his fight with the masked man in Phone Home.
When he blew his head off with a golf
Evan
club.
sits down, and Biker tells him his story about killing Russian gangsters, about signing up for 50 Blessings, which he only remembers as patriotic bullshit, about the weird phone calls, and about finding out who was behind them. However, he doesn't remember his conversation with the janitors or discovering their plan.
Probably because there's an option for going through the game without discovering their plan, and then the conversation with them really makes no sense. But no, that's impossible.
But he does remember the fear he felt, thinking there was something big behind it all. He says he went into hiding, and mentions that's where he met him. After this terrifying meeting,
Big ol' cock
Biker
face.
lost his will to fight. He's cowered in the desert since then, only emerging recently as the mass maniac trial heats up. Since he gave Evan the truth, he asks Evan for his reward money, mentioning he needs another drink. However, due to his state, Evan refuses to believe Biker's story, writing it off as the ramblings of a drunkard.
Ah, it's almost as if this isn't a story significant
Biker
sequence.
screams at Evan to leave as he's done talking to him. Evan exits the bar, ensuring that 50 Blessings' plan is never revealed and assuring its completion. Even though he was able to find out the truth, Biker's fear of the truth and his attempts to hide from it eventually leads to 50 Blessings' success. Their plan eventually leads to the destruction of Miami and seemingly the rest of America.
Rest in peace.
And we watch as the surviving protagonists of Hotline Miami are vaporized by the explosions. However, there is one character whose death is not explicitly shown.
Yeah, no, it is. It's shown in Hotline Miami 1. He gets his head blown off with a golf club when he gets in the loses fight against Jacket. It was a really annoying boss fight, and it has an awful skip that I just lost a run a while ago, too, because it teleported me out of bounds.
Maybe, in the aftermath of the bombings, he still wanders the wastelands of America, cursed with bearing the burden of the truth on his shoulders. If Biker could have overcome his fear, maybe 50 Blessings could have been stopped.
I want to get to the fucking goddamn shitting. Let's go to the bar, start up Hotline Miami 2, and just so I can go to the stupid bar of broken heroes. So I can fucking show what I think it is, because apparently everyone thinks it's a very real canonical sequence that's totally happened, and this is important to the story in any way, shape, or form. The answer is it's not. Imagine starting up...
I am sure he escaped a nuclear holocaust.
Totally, dude. The entire US got nuked, but he's fine, because he was hanging out with a chicken man in the desert. He also didn't have his head blown off. Fucking Subway, right? I'm pretty sure it's Subway. That's you. Like a Hotline 2 defaults to not skipping the intros. When Hotline 1 defaults to skipping the intros, because Hotline 1 knew that you cared about the gameplay and not autism, but here I am, so you got me, Hotline 2. Yeah, right there. You got one. Hello, I saw your ad in the paper. You got some information you might find interesting. It said $200 for info, right? Well, you better bring it. Wait, Hank's on 101st all day, sitting in the bar. Just get here before I max out my tab. Based alcoholism. Where am I going? I don't remember. Yeah, you. Grab that shit. Hi, honey. I have autism. Bye. I feel no autistic wife. Homeless guy being annoying. You know he's homeless because he's got dark skin. You know he's annoying because he puts on a chicken mask. Shit gets annoying. I don't actually remember how to do this level, I think. Subway's an easy level, though. I also like how the music's completely gone, even though I turned it back on. Okay. Something like this. This is really not how you want it to go, but whatever. Hi. What are you doing? Got him. You baited, kid. Missed. Yo, thanks Gun Guy for going to like the worst fucking location. I missed. Whoops. Yeah, no, fuck. That one gun guy came really close this time. I think he's a patrol dude, but... Or he's just got autism because he was there at normal time this time. Dead. Rest in peace. Well, not dead. You know what I mean. The bar of broken heroes. Dun 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 dun. Dun, dun. Hey, what's up? We got the fans, we got the son and the henchman, we got Jacket, we got Beard, we got the homeless guy, we've got the writer... Not the writer, excuse me, we got... What was his fucking name, dude? The actor guy. Why is the music off? Yeah, no, the music is just broken. This is the Hammer, one of the music dudes. This is Manny Pardo, and this is... What's his cuck? The fucking retard duck. Yeah, Jake. Talk to him. You're gonna love messages machine. You sent information for me, right? You're the right. Did you bring the money? Yeah, 100. Yes. What do you have for me? Right. I was 2 years ago. We were out in town for a while. Lost track of time.
Avalanche
Okay.
_Delta.
Russians. I killed a bunch of them in the war. You mean? War? Fuck now. Right here in Miami. You know, I was one of the desert. I was young. I was only 2 years. I don't feel a lot older now. Russians. They were mafia. I think I killed a bunch of these. Some patriotic bullshit. And so getting these weird phone calls, you see. Phone calls. That's what I said. You listen to what a lot of people were getting these calls. I think I got fed up with it and wanted to figure out what was the calling thing. Some big behind a real big, so I skipped town, big booty window, hiding in the desert. You think there was a conspiracy? No, man, this was real. I was a fucking conspiracy. Anyway, I'm out of the desert. I met him, never been so scared of a chicken man when I guy didn't give me any chills. After that, it was just also a little fight. What do you think we're making these phone calls? She's just like not caring at all. It's me. So you're gonna give me my money now or what? I didn't even know the drink. I think you've had enough to be honest. You can give me anything more substantial, I can't pay you, okay? Not substantial, am I? Well, screw you,
Stinger.
pal. That's me.
Boomor.
I'm he's boom hour. Oh god. I wasn't even trying to do that. I was just droning bored. I'm risking my life here talking to you. You're not gonna pay? Get lost, will ya? I'm through with you. The bar of broken fucking heroes, dude. Wow, look at all these two. Oh fuck, I didn't mean to walk. God damn it. I didn't mean to walk out. Bye. I forgot the moment you touch the door where you, like, leave it. I'm gonna reopen this fucking closed tab.
The people that attacked the Russian mafia in 1989
I
were
just show the bar
most
broken heroes
recognized
real
by
fast.
the rubber masks they wore while murdering.
Over here somewhere.
Drink.
Pretty much, the bar of broken heroes is full of exactly that. Broken heroes, more or less characters who, like, they were trying to accomplish something, more or less, and failed miserably, and their story had a very unhappy ending. Because we saw the fans. The fans tried to gain the same infamy that Jagged had gained by going out and killing shit under, like, from the phone calls from 50 Blessings. So they're just trying to become as famous as him, despite not really becoming that famous. Writer says he might be willing to write on them. They never really get much more than a few minutes on air. While trying to get all this fame and shit, and even trying to do, like, the same thing he did and attack, like, the Russian Mafia's main base. Although it's not really, like, confirmed that they really knew that's what that was, but that's more or less what they tried doing. More or less copying what what Jacket did. And they fail because they all die. They all have bad endings. They end up in the bar of broken heroes. Over there, we've got Henchman. He wanted to just, you know, have a good life with his girlfriend, get away from all this crime, and, you know, live like a peaceful time. And his girl takes the money and runs, and he ends up drugged out of his mind back in one of these fucking slum-ass like nightclubs that he just was trying to get away from, and ends up getting killed. He wanted to get away because he thought he was getting soft and that he was gonna like die one of these days, and that's exactly what happens. He doesn't get away from it. He loses his girlfriend and he dies. He ends up in the bar of broken heroes. The son is trying to regain the power and like respect whatever that his father had. He wants to be a lot like him and do all the shit that he did. So he tries acting a lot like his father, very much like his father, on his way of trying to build up power for the Russian Mafia, ends up getting fucking killed. Well, he ends up losing everything to crazy mass animal people and then dying. Jacket basically destroys the Russian Mafia in Miami and then kills the leaders. And the son, like, the fans kill after he gets everything from the Colombians, the fans come in and slaughter everyone in his building, and he ends up killing them and then walking off the rooftop in a drug trip and dies. So he also fails. He ends up in the bar of broken heroes. Beard here wanted to pretty much more or less stop with the war and go back to living a peaceful life in San Francisco. That doesn't happen because he dies in the war from getting fucking nuked. So he also ends up in the bar of broken heroes, although he's a little weaker there. The homeless guy's not even really in the bar of broken heroes, but I guess you could say he's trying to live a normal fucking life. And he's one of the first people that Jacket actually goes out and kills in Miami. He meets a pretty bad ending. The actor dude here, was it? No, it's not Evan, it's not the writer. Not Mark, I don't remember what his fucking name was, but the actor dude, the pig butcher, this is kind of where you have to sort of take this how this is interpreted. Some people think that he actually died. Martin Brown, there's his fucking name. Some people think Martin Brown actually died in the dory.
Martin Brown is the
Yeah,
actor.
Martin, okay, I was thinking Mark,
gone.
some shit,
Martin.
but yeah, Martin Brown. I don't think Martin Brown actually died in the story. I think Martin Brown is more like a method actor who was trying to play the pig butcher as seriously as he's good and was getting a little bit twisted mental in the head trying to, like, think like a serial killer, more or less. And that he's just in utter shock when the character dies because now he's got to kind of just drop that and go back to being, like, normal. So I think that's why he ends up here, because he, like, especially if you read the script that's left at the beginning of the police level, you can see that at the end of the story, the pig butcher was supposed to re-get the girl and then do something to her, probably penis in her pooper. That's why he had to keep her chained up in the bathroom. That's also why they didn't actually have a toilet. But he ends up not doing that because instead the girl pulls out a gun and shoots him and he dies. Well, he being the pig butcher, that character dies. So I believe that that's not Martin actually dying himself. I believe that's more of the pig butcher, like, as the character dying when he wasn't supposed to. He was setting out with this goal of being creepy fucking serial killer and failed at that because he got killed by his own victim. So he ends up in the bar of Broken Heroes. Manny Pardo, he was trying to gain infamy by catching the famous, the elusive, completely dangerous, surprisingly attractive Miami Mutilator. And not only does he fail to fucking make everyone think that he's actually important in any way and have people care about him, but he ends up becoming crazy drunk, sitting with all the shit propped up against the door, pointing a gun at it, thinking everyone's coming for him. Nobody actually cares that much about you, Manny Pardo. He ends up dying in the nukes, not having actually gotten anything that he wanted in fucking life. He ends up in the bar of Broken Heroes. Jake wanted to make America great again and earn some goddamn respect by going out and killing those fucking Ruskies and just listening to these phone calls. And he keeps doing that. He's having a happy, fun time trying to make America great again, etc., etc. He ends up fucking dying on the job. He either way you interpret his story going, doesn't fucking matter, because he either ends up getting killed while trying to do that and having a failed fucking story, or he ends up getting betrayed by 50 Blessings for being such a fucking blabbermouth and still has an end to his story where rather than helping America, he got betrayed by them. So either way, his story ends badly. He ends up in the bar of Broken Heroes. And yeah, the hammer is also an Easter egg here, actually. I don't know if he was intended to have more of a role in the game. That might be a reference to that. I'm not super sure on that one. He was included in the level editor, but he's, as far as I know, he's really just a musician that was doing a lot of shit here. In what I think, the fact... I'm not sure if the henchman's dead right now, but I know for a fact Beard, the homeless guy outside, and Jake are all dead at this point. So we've got dead characters in here. This is not a canon sequence. Definitely already an Easter egg, so it's reasonable to throw another musical-based Easter egg in there, especially since Hotline Miami is known for having its fantastic soundtracks with really good picks from musicians. Anyway, enter Evan and Biker. Biker set out on a story of finding who was doing these phone calls so he could stop them, and he's fucking... he fails on that, because while he's trying to do that, Jacket finds him, Jacket hits him in the head, he sits down for a bit, gets back up, clinks his fucking meat cleaver on the wall, Jacket resets, actually goes through the fight, kills him, warps out of bounds, etc., etc. Jacket kills him. So his story is a fucking failure, and the scar on his face is referencing the fact that he got fucking killed with a fucking hit to the head. Never mind.
However,
if you want to be...
due to his stamblings...
If you want to be really picky, the hit is low on the left side of him, whereas if you look at the actual sprite of him in-game from Hotline 1, when he's, like, talking in the little cutscene after you kill him... when he's talking in the cutscene after you kill him, and also just seeing how the characters stand there, reasonably the hit should have hit the top right side of his head, so this doesn't really make much sense here. So this is more of referencing he was hit in the head, rather than it actually being... Because if he walked out here and he had no fucking head, it would be weird as shit. That's my understanding as to why that's like that. But yeah, he also set out with a goal in mind, failed to accomplish that, and fucking died while trying to do so. Hence, he ends up in the bar of Broken Heroes. Interesting to point out characters who are not in the bar of Broken Heroes. For example, Richter. Richter's not here in the bar of Broken Heroes because his story didn't have a sad ending. Richter wanted to not do this 50 Blessings stuff, but they were bullying him and his mom. So eventually... He even ends up in jail over this shit, and he finally gets the fuck away. He escapes from prison by pretending to be one of the guards, takes his mother, and flees away from Miami. He and his mother get out of there, so now he's able to keep her safe away from all this shit going down in Miami. He actually succeeds in his story. He still dies, but he succeeded in his story. Fucking Jacket himself succeeded in his story as well. Jacket was, whether you want to say he's getting revenge for Beard or whether he's getting revenge for his girlfriend dying, doesn't really matter. It works either way. If you want to take it just in the context of Hotline 1, he definitely has a good ending to his story because he finds a cute, he starts getting these weird phone calls, he acts crazy, starts killing people, finds this cute GF, life starts getting a little bit better. She gets killed. He goes out of his way to track down the guy who killed her and punish him, that being Richter. And he also goes out of his way to try finding information about the phone calls, because Richter talked about them, so that he could find more or less, like, what's causing all this. Like, the phone calls caused that to be killing. The phone calls caused his life to get fucking worse. Phone calls killed his girlfriend. He wants to stop the phone calls at all fucking costs. So he does the best he can looking through the police's evidence, and he finds the best thing that he can get is this place, like, all around the Russian mafia. So he tries tracking down the Russian mafia bosses, because he thinks they're the ones behind this. He goes out of his way, he kills all the Russian mafia dudes, and then he stays there standing on the top smoking a cigarette, throws the picture off, everything's having, like, fun times, because he thinks that he's succeeded, and he actually has. He didn't find the people who were responsible for the phone calls, but they were sending these phone calls because they wanted to destroy the Russian mafia in Miami. Jacket went out and destroyed the fucking Russian mafia in Miami. Hotline 2, when Evan goes, like, the first level, he talks to that one Russian dude in the sauna, and he tells him that after, like, the boss leader was dead, that the phone calls just stopped completely because there stopped being animal mask attacks everywhere and they just disappeared overnight. Meaning that Jacket actually did succeed in stopping the phone calls. He didn't do it the way Biker was going to. Biker was going to do it in a better, more direct way, but he killed Biker, so that can't have happened. But he still succeeds in stopping the phone calls. Hence, even though he ends up in jail, he still has a good ending. He's not in the Bar of Broken Heroes. And Evan is probably the most interesting case, because Evan enters the Bar of Broken Heroes, but also leaves it. I believe that's because Evan actually has a choice for the player to make in the game. Either, he clearly sets out with this goal of going to, like, I'm gonna go do the story thing and, like, try to keep my family at the same time, but the story thing's driving me crazy, so I'm gonna go to greater efforts to try to finish it, but I'm driving my family, like, pushing them away further and further the more I do this. You have the choice of either going to his desk and trying to write the story, where he's shown, still, like, scratching his fucking head, where do I go with this, like, family nowhere to be found, like, in a dark, like, office with all these papers screwing about, clearly, like, distressed as he gets nuked, meaning that he continued with his story of trying to figure out what the fuck was going on with these things, like trying to solve the mystery behind this and write a book about it, and he fails, so he would die and he would belong in the Bar of Broken Heroes. Alternatively, he can give that up and he can go to restore, like, peaceful ties with his family and stop fretting so much over this book, because it's really not that important. His family is a lot more important than that. And just kind of give up on all this shit that's been leading down this life of violence and bullshit. And that way, that's more of a happy ending, because he gets away, like, he changes his goal from being trying to finish this book and keep his family to either just trying to finish this book, which he can't succeed and he fails in, or trying to get together with his family, which he can, he succeeds in. That's a good ending, which is why he's also allowed to leave the Bar of Broken Heroes. That is my interpretation of what this scene is, which also indicates that this scene is not fucking canon, which means that it doesn't matter that Biker is fucking alive here, which means that you don't have to go out of your way to excuse why he's at the fucking, what's it called? Of course Biker would be haunting Jacket's trial. That's also an Easter egg. The fans are also there cheering for him. That's also an Easter egg. It's not fucking significant. Can I get a hot ban on Headcrab? But more importantly, because Biker's survival is not considered canon in Hotline 2, you no longer have to consider this crazy timeline of everything being non-canon at all happening in Hotline 1, not taking anything seriously, because every single character that you see from the eyes of, both of them, are unreliable narrators, so you can't trust anything that they said. How the fuck do you know that he actually even went to meet with the janitors and they said anything? He could have gone anywhere else because he's an unreliable narrator, dude. What the fuck? Headcrab, go to NASA. Headcrab, can you take a hot pic of Slayer for me and then just send it to me on Twitter? It really helped me out. I'm trying to get as many sneak peeks as I can there, because I can't be there. I hate this fucking meme. I have autism. I just kind of sit down and, like, realize that after going... How long was that rant? Is that like a fucking... I want to say it was probably close to 20 to 40 minutes of me explaining why I hate these two videos on YouTube. Even though they're well-done videos, and I love Hotline Miami, and I love the idea of people doing more Hotline Miami lore-related stuff on it. God damn, I disagree with this man's opinions very much. Why is who not asleep? Me or Headcrab? Yeah, isn't it way past your bedtime, Headcrab? Aren't you like 14?
Fairhead Crab.
Are your parents with you there at NASA, dude?
Fairhead Crab, where are you for?
Yeah, for come to my bed, don't go to Headcrab's. Mine's a lot bigger and softer. I'll treat you right. Headcrab won't. You know he won't
Furry
either.
IFF for room 311.
The fuck are you in 311, dude? Why is
Fair
everyone in
hand,
311?
crab. No, my parents aren't here.
WTF, dude. Based Jelton, dude. Banned from the Hotline Discord, but still shitting up Hotline Miami. Is there anyone more based than our
Furry
boy
IFF
Jolton?
for
Our
Chucky wanted to know who
14-year-old
Slayer
boy
was sleeping
Jolton.
with.
Shitty, not because of trauma, because the mask he's wearing fucking messed up his vision. Epic. Simple scar confirmed. Unbelievable. I don't believe this, dude. This is unbelievable. Also, I really don't believe the idea of someone having just such a bad hangover that they forget getting their head nearly cracked open with a fucking golf club. That's
Fair
just
hand,
no.
crab. Check Discord.
Yo, what's this Discord? Hang on. Please, please
Fair
be
hand, crab.
nudes.
Slayer is sleeping alone.
Because he's a fucking virgin, dude.
Fairhead crab, but colon.
Yo, thanks for